Give a round of applause for Dries Vints.
Thanks. Did any of you heard the scratching noises during Match Talk on the site? I mean, like literally everybody's trying to get into this conference. Today I'm going to talk about Laravel ecosystem. First of all, I'm Dries. I work at BeatSwitch. I lead the development here and there. We have an awesome development team. It's too bad that they can't attend here. We do festival management software. What we actually do is we enable festivals to run everything about their business so they can manage their transports, their artists, and their bookings. Also maintain the Laravel.io website, the Laravel community portal. Who's on Laravel.io? Who's registered? A couple of people, okay. We recently transferred to DigitalOcean and are now running on Forge and Envoy. We've been on ForgeRabbit for a couple of years. I'd really like to thank them for everything they've done for us, for Laravel.io, for the Laravel community in general as well. And I also recently started a new user group in Antwerp called PHP Antwerp. We have 2 meetups so far, 120 developers already registered, which is really amazing. And I really blame Code Rabbi for doing this, because ever since he visited us at PHP Benelux, like new user groups have been popping up all around Belgium. It's amazing. Just to get a little bit things out of the way, to get some things straight, there are some things I will talk about and some things I won't talk about. Some things I won't talk about is, first things I want to say is that this ain't a sales talk. I'm not here to sell Taylor's product. Sorry, Taylor. I'm here to talk about the ecosystem. I will highlight the individual components of it a little bit, but I'm not here to sell them. I also won't go over how you set everything up. No, I won't go over how you set up Envoy or Forge or any of that. Laracasts and Jeffrey have some great tutorials on that. I really suggest you go have a look over there. So, the Laravel ecosystem. And I actually just want to start out with a quote. And it's a quote which has been used a lot in the past, mainly by Taylor, but a lot of other people as well. And I really think that this quote really summarizes everything there is to know about the Laravel ecosystem. It really captures everything that the ecosystem stands for and what it actually wants to try to achieve for developers. It says developer happiness from download to deploy. And it actually just means like it enables you, developers, to be happy again about programming and not having to worry about all the little things or the complex stuff. It hides it underneath and enables you to focus on actually the things you really want to do, which is, of course, creating amazing applications. And the thing is that we spend so much time crafting new amazing applications for our clients, for ourselves, for our companies, that we don't really we kind of lose track on how we can improve our tools, the things we work with, like our IDEs or our frameworks, or the way we ship code onto a server. And it's also because we don't have much time to learn this new stuff. We're so busy with our daily jobs and our personal lives as well. It's also because web development today isn't web development from 10 years ago. There's so many new things have come around. And if you look at let's say 2002, for example, what a developer needs to know about getting a new project online, probably involve some HTML, some CSS, some JavaScript, perhaps server-side language like PHP, a query language like SQL, and that would basically be enough. Of course, some other things as well, but this would generally summarize what a developer needs to know to get a project online. But like now in 2015, there's just so many new things to learn, and it's kind of overwhelming. Like how do we find time to learn all of this stuff? I could have I listed a lot of things here, but I could have listed like every single JavaScript framework here, and it just would run out of time before I get to the end of them. And it's just so hard to learn everything. Alex King also says that we've made web development complicated. Like, well, when did it get so complicated? When did we decide it? Like when we needed to learn from a few basic things to all of these things. It's just mesmerizing that we took it so far. And the next thing is what I want to talk about is that this is a personal opinion of mine. This is just my personal opinion. I think full stack, for example, is an abused term. Like a lot of people like use full stack in their as their term for what they are, or in their job listings. Like we're looking for a full stack developer, or I'm a full stack developer. But I think like a lot of people don't really know what that means, full stack. I think a lot of people have different definitions for it. Like some people think it's just backend and front-end development. Some people are just thinking it's just a lot of knowledge into one single aspect of programming. But when you actually look at what full stack means, and this is what it actually means for me. And Lawrence Gellert here has practically the same vision on it as I do. It's a lot more than just basic programming. You have a lot of different steps involved before you can actually bring an entire project to a close. So what a full stack developer would involve is like some server and network and hosting environment, how you would manage that, how do you set up a server, how do you set up all the different things you need for your application. That could go really far. How you model data in a persistent layer, how you manage the business logic in your code, how you do all this stuff. The API layer, the action layer, MVC layer, frameworks, and stuff like that. User interface, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all of that. User experience, which is also an important aspect, that you don't need 8 steps to do one single thing, those kind of things. And also a very important aspect of what's mean to be full stack is like understanding what the business and the customer needs, like actually understanding what they need as a product, and not just building it because your product manager just tells you to do this. And I think this is incredible hard for one person to do, especially in this time with all of the technologies we have. I think that Laravel tries to help in this way with, I say, 1, 4, and 5, a little bit of part 3 as well. But it's kind of hard to do everything, and I simply, just my opinion, I don't think anyone could ever like excel in every single step of this process. There's just so much to learn, like so many different aspects. We saw a slide of 2015 with all the different things. I really have a hard time of keeping track of everything, of learning everything. I think, does anyone recognize them in this? This is me. This is exactly me. Stacking up browser tabs, keeping a to-do list in Pocket with all the different articles and subjects I still need to learn, I still need to read. A Twitter favorite list, which is endless. I recently just stopped favoriting links on Twitter because like I I probably never catch up with the ones I already have. And this is something I think a lot of people will recognize themselves into. You see, not everyone has time to learn everything. It's hard to learn everything because we all have so much to do. We have our day-to-day life, we have our jobs, which you need to tend to, our businesses. If you're a freelancer, you probably have even less time because you need to spend so much time on your clients. You have all those our personal lives as well, our families, our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our spouses, our kids, which is important that you spend a lot of time with them as well, and not just with your business. And then you need to find time to learn all of this new stuff and keep track of it. It's incredible art. And I've just come to a simple conclusion a couple of years ago, that I won't be able to learn everything in one single life of what there is to learn. So what I decided to do is focus on what's important. What do I really want to become? Do I want to become really good at sysadmin? Do I want to become really good at data modeling? Do I want to become really good at programming in general? And just focus on that, you focus on things you really want to learn and start with that. But the thing is, and this is something that Laravel really stands out in, what if the tools we use didn't require us to learn everything? What if we had a set of tools which just enables us to actually focus on what's important and hides all of that complexity behind a layer of sugarcoating or whatever you want to call it, so you can actually focus on the things you really want to do, which is building amazing products. And I think that's exactly what Laravel offers. And that's exactly what the entire ecosystem offers. It offers you tools and a framework which enables you to focus on what's really important, which is creating amazing applications. And I want to start with the ecosystem by starting with the framework. I just also figured if I put enough Breaking Bad images into my slides, the talk would go as well, pretty well. I want to start with the framework. I started using Laravel, I think, like 3 years ago, to 2012. I originally started out with CodeIgniter, like a lot of other people. Then stumbled into Laravel, discovered like, hey, this is pretty great. Actually, this is an amazing framework. Pretty easy how easy it is to do certain stuff. I contributed a lot during the Laravel 4 beta. Started trying out a lot of stuff, diving into the core, learning a lot of new stuff, which is really great. And the things I really like about Laravel, the frameworks especially, is that it really brings code back to the essence of what you want to do. It just removes all of the complexity and boilerplate of what you want to do. And just to get some things straight, I'm totally in no way saying that Zend or Doctrine or Symfony or any of the other examples in the next code snippets are worse and that Laravel is better. That's totally not my point. I'm just highlighting these snippets to see how Laravel handles things differently. That's all there is to it. So it really brings code back to the essence of what you want to do. It just gives you like something simple, a single line of defining a route, which is the only thing you want to do. It hides complex things like querying for data, or Eloquent has been an amazing thing for quickly getting data out of your persistent layer and just solve so many complex things you need to do before achieving this thing. By the way, I just want to say I really love Doctrine. Doctrine is one of the most amazing all-rounders there is out there. We use it at BeatSwitch, and we couldn't be happier with it. I love the way they solve entities and inheritance. It's just a different tool for a different situation. But Eloquent's amazing as well. query scopes, here it's a godsend. It's clean and it's readable. I don't know if any of you have ever read Uncle Bob's Clean Code book, but that's ever since I read his book, I've been obsessed with clean code, about that one line which just you can read and you can understand what's happening, and you can just know what the code will do without having to waste minutes of your time on trying to grasp what's being done in a situation. And what's funny actually about this particularly example is that the Symfony code you see here is actually the code which is being used underneath the syntactic sugar that Laravel provides. And that's also something that Laravel tries to solve. It tries to use all of these amazing components that the PHP community offers, like Symfony. Symfony has some of the best standardized components in all of the PHP community. And it tries to go a step further and tries to simplify the things so you can just do whatever you actually want to do. Another example is SwiftMailer, for example. SwiftMailer is being used underneath the Laravel mail component. Also something which is being solved at such an easy way to do. It also simplifies a lot of complex topics. Cron jobs, for example, it's not one of the easiest concepts there is to programming, and the way Laravel solves this here is incredible. Just simple code which you can define your application. You have one cron job which pings your application every minute or so, and you define all the scheduled commands inside your application, which give you even more control than if you had to define all the cron jobs on your server. And it's just, again, clean code, readable code, easy code for which to understand. And I think Laravel, because of all of these things I just highlighted, Laravel has become an essential tool in the workflow of many developers. I couldn't live without it. I couldn't live without using Laravel for a lot of projects. I'm still very convinced of the fact that you should use the right tool for the right job. Laravel isn't the tool you shouldn't use in some situations, of course, but for many situations it is. And the nice thing about Laravel is that you don't need to use the entire framework. You can use every single component, or almost every single component separately. Matt has a great GitHub repository on this, where you can go to and look at examples for each and every component which you want to use separately. Queuing, for example, or the mail component, or whatever. The thing also that Laravel does is it enables for rapid application development. And it allows ideas to come to life in a really small amount of time. This is essential for some type of businesses. And I know that a lot of people think that rapid application development is a problem, but I think it just depends on the situation. It depends on the context you're working at. If you have an agency, for example, I've worked in agencies for over 4 years, and if there's anything I learned at agencies, it's that time is money. It's that if they have the possibility that a client comes to them and the client says, I need this project done by next week, or I won't, it just needs to be done, then Laravel can help you with that, because it allows for a quick setup, quick application development, quick working out of a prototype. And the value that adds that to agencies and those businesses is incredibly important. Also for startups, for example, I work at an incubator. It's in Antwerp, or Beatswitch, we're a startup, and there are a lot of other startups working in the incubator as well. And I've learned a lot about that getting that minimal valuable product out there the minute you think of an idea is incredibly important. Again, rapid application development can help you with that. It doesn't mean that your minimal valuable product will be the end result. You probably have to rework anyways. But getting that first prototype out there to be the first person who do something, it's incredibly important for these kind of companies. And also, not every application is an enterprise app. If you build an application which will last a couple of months, do you really need every single best practice there is there to use? If you have an application which is really small, which doesn't have a lot of functionality, do you really need every best practice there is there to build it? And I really think that Laravel only limits you to do something when you choose to see it like that. When you haven't used Laravel and you have an opinion about it that this is a bad practice or this is bad, then you should really just try to dive into it first, use it on a project, and then again tell if you really still think about it like that. Next up is Lumen. I'm not going to go over Lumen a lot because it ties in a lot with the rest of the Laravel framework. But it's basically, again, an amazing solution to a complex problem. It's basically Laravel stripped down to what's essential for what you need for a microservice. And it sacrifices a lot of configurability for speed, but enables you to build fast applications like APIs and things that ties into your monolith, into your main application. And the main thing I really like about Lumen is that it has an easy upgrade path to the full Laravel application. If you at one point decide that you want to build something but it needs to be fast, then you can just build it in Lumen. And when you decide later on that your application has grown and become something much more than a full application, then you just can upgrade to Laravel easily. Next up are the extensions of Laravel. What's amazing about Laravel is that it just doesn't stop at framework. Taylor ran beyond that. He decided that there are some situations which are complex problems to solve, like social authentication, for example. Authenticating with GitHub or Bitbucket or all kinds of different social mediums. It's not one of the easiest problems to solve. There are a lot of great libraries out there which solve these problems, but Taylor really brought it down to the essentials of what you are actually trying to do. Does it even get easier than this? I mean, I've used the Socialite on a couple of different projects already. It works great. I use it on Laravel.io as well. Works perfectly for this situation. And the nice thing is that the community stepped in, and there are a lot of different providers available on Socialite providers like GitHub.io. They really went beyond and created a shitload of providers for all different kinds of social service. If you ever need like social authentication for Instagram or Uber or YouTube or whatever, just use Socialite providers like GitHub will work perfectly. Next up is also a really complex subject, something which every SaaS business needs is billing your users. Also something that's not really that easy. Stripe has become an industry standard. I mean, most things when you want to bill your users, you're probably going to use Stripe anyway. And Cashier really solves this problem in an easy possible way. Again, clean code, a clean way to do this, to bill your users, manage subscriptions, even handles invoices if you want to use the out-of-the-box functionality. Easy way to cancel subscriptions, to swap them, to add trials and stuff like that. Couldn't be possibly easier, in my opinion. Next up is Envoy. Envoy solves a complex task, which is SSH task to your server. For example, if you want to deploy your code to your server, it's just a little small component which you can download and easily get your application up there. It's you can use it for all different kinds of service solutions. You can use it for different SSH tasks. You can use it on multiple servers as well. If you want to run different SSH tasks on multiple servers, it's quite easy. Has a really clean syntax as well. Uses a blade-like syntax to do it. You just define different tasks, define different commands you want to run for each task. A really simple solution. And nice thing about Envoy as well, that you can actually just configure it like Envoy, if you like. Chris Fidelper has a great tutorial on this, how you can build an Envoy-like development scenario for Envoy. So if you're into that, definitely check that out. Also, check out Rocketeer from Maxime Fabre. It's a great tool, which is basically Envoy on steroids. Goes a lot further than Envoy does. You know, why stop at backend code? Why not give the front end or something as well? Elixir is a tool which really brings down the essentials of what you're trying to do when you're trying to do asset compilement. It's Gulp, but simplified, if that's even possible. Yeah, apparently it is. And Jeffrey made this, actually, not Taylor. And it's really brings down the essentials of what you're trying to do with asset compilement. Most of the time, what you're trying to do is concatenation, compilation, minification, auto prefixing, probably. And it's just one command you can say, like, these SaaS files needs to compile to this file. And that's all there is to it. It will just compile and execute all these different tasks which you would normally set up manually anyway. And also a neat feature of Elixir is that it can monitor your tests. So if you change anything, Elixir will automatically run your tests and notify you if something fails, which is really cool. Beta tests are still to be added. Sorry, I forgot. It provides support for a lot of different front-end components like source maps out of the box, Browserify, CoffeeScript, Babel, and a lot of other different things, which is really great. And I think the coolest feature about Elixir, in my opinion, is a version and cache busting feature, which is just a really simple problem that people have. You push an updated CSS version, but the browser still has a cache version, and your entire layout breaks. It's terrible. You don't want that to happen. And Elixir just really provides a simple solution to this. You just say versionize this file, and you can again see how Elixir ties into Laravel again. Laravel has a helper to get that Elixir latest version out of your assets directory and just serves the latest version, which is really cool. Latest tool in the development stack is of course Laravel Spark. I don't know if much of you have already heard about Laravel Spark. Taylor will probably give a lot of explanation by the end at this talk. It's coming soon, it's almost there. The main thing you need to know about Laravel Spark is that it's named after one of our dearest community members, Phil Sparks, which is not true, sorry, I'm just kidding, it's not true. But I like to tease Phil because he works on Laravel a lot as well, so I like to tease him from time to time. The thing Spark is it provides a base for SaaS applications. So it will, out of the box, handle billing, team management, invitations, registration, two-factor auth, and a lot of other different things which you need for your SaaS application, which is really cool. Again, Laravel really helps with getting that first version of your application online there. If you have an idea for a SaaS app, you can just start with Spark today, and you can get a first MVP out by next week if you want. And it will have billing, it will have team management, it will have invitations, all the things you will probably need for your SaaS application, which is really cool. So if we kind of recap and look at what all of these components in this ecosystem do, you see the same pattern in each component. It's simple, elegant, it hides a lot of complexity, it enables you to focus on what's really important. It provides powerful extensions like Cashier and Socialite, so you can rapidly build your app. And that rapid application development to get that first product out there. Of course, we need to like run our code somewhere. We need to like develop on something, and this is where I think some or 2 years ago at Laracon, US, where Taylor went on. He went on beyond code. He went. It's actually when we think again about the code from download to deploy. This is an essential step in the entire ecosystem. You need to be able to run your code on your computer and be certain that the things you run are going to run well in production. Now, I have a production-like environment which is easy to set up, and I can even remember the last time I used a tool like MEMP. Vagrant has become an essential tool in a lot of developers' workflow. You see this quote is being used by every developer ever in his career here, I think. And the Vagrant really tries to solve that problem with virtualization. And I think that Vagrant is amazing, but it's still a complex topic. It's a really complex topic. When I first started with Vagrant, Homestead wasn't even out. And I think I was looking at Puppet and Chef of how they try to get everything set up for a development environment. And it was really hard because I didn't know anything about system administration or how to set up servers or anything like that. So I had a really hard time understanding how I could configure a server. But over time, new tools came out, like Homestead. So yeah, DevOps, it's not really the most easiest of topics there is out there. Luckily, these days we have a lot of help from a lot of amazing tools. Puppet, for example, which allows you to, through UI, just to select what components you want to have for your virtual machine, and uses Puppet scripts for provisioning your server or your instance. Fensible by Erica, who spoke last year at Laracon. Also an amazing tool, which uses Ansible scripting instead of Puppet scripts. Protobox, which is also a pretty cool tool. It's sort of like Fensible, a little bit different. Also uses Ansible scripting. Vaporbash by Fidelper, by Chris Vidal, which is probably my favorite tool out of all these four, because it just uses bash scripting, which is really easy. Just it doesn't use a provisioner at all. It's really cool. But the most simple solution today, and still for me, is still Homestead. It's because it just has everything you need to build on a Laravel application, and it doesn't need you to add a lot of other things. Of course, I'm going to say this for every single tool in the Laravel ecosystem. Not every single tool in the Laravel ecosystem will be applicable to every single situation. That's a given. I mean, not every single application will run on Homestead. Not every single application will run on Forge. You just need to use the tools which fit you and fit you well. Homestead really solves a complex topic about Vagrant, is that it actually brings down to what Vagrant was meant to do, Just download the box, run provision, get up and running, and get going at coding. Comes with everything you need for a Laravel application. Come basically with a basic Ubuntu box, PHP 5.6, and IPOP virtual machine as well, Nginx configuration, MySQL and Postgres out of the box, and has a lot of different other things like Node, Memcached, and stuff like this. It's really everything you need for most of the situations you're going to end up in. You can use it with VirtualBox or VMware, whatever virtualization software you want. And again, it has a really easy configuration. If you want to set up synced folders, just add a line, 2 lines to your configuration folder, run provision, and your folders will start syncing to your VirtualBox. If you want to add Nginx sites, also again 2 lines. Just say the name of your website, map it to the directory on your virtual machine, and you're good to go. Don't need to forget to add to your host file, of course. And it also enables you to configure things like Blackfire.io, which is fairly new, but a really amazing tool to monitor how your workflow of your application goes, how fast it goes, where your bottlenecks are. It's just really simple to set it up with your local development environment and get all of your developers to set it up so they can monitor what they're developing and really easily monitor the flow of the application. What's really cool is that recently someone sent in a pull request, Joe Ferguson, which enables you to install Homestead per project. So you don't need to install it globally on your system. You can now install it per project, which is really cool. Just Composer required it as dev dependency, run PHP Homestead make, and Vagrant up. Really easy. Homestead offers a lot of benefits in the way that you can get your developers up and running quickly. If you have someone new at your company, you can just say, hey, install Homestead. If they have the per project setup, they probably already have Homestead because they run Composer install. Just need to do Vagrant up, and they're good to go. Nothing more to it. Really easy. You can quickly get a new app up and running. Like we said, just add a couple of lines to your config and really get quick up and running with Homestead. And what's really amazing is that Homestead solves the problem of getting your developers up and running in the same environment. You know that works on my machine quote doesn't really apply anymore because every single developer works on the same environment, which is really cool and exactly the thing you want. You have, and what's the most important part about Homestead, I think, if you use it with Forge, is that you're basically running on your production environment. It's not entirely the same. It can't possibly always be entirely the same. But it's basically the same setup with the same dependencies, same Nginx, same PHP version, same Ubuntu version, which is exactly what you want for a local development environment. But of course, you want to get it up there onto a server, and you want to get your application up there. And the thing about configuring servers is that it isn't the easiest of tasks. I'm not a sysadmin. I admit I have fairly few experience with DevOps. I'm not a real DevOps kind of guy. And it's not the easiest of things to do. Luckily, we have some amazing resources in our community, like Servers for Hackers from Chris Fedao again, which has a lot of tutorials on how to set up servers, how to configure them. DigitalOcean also has a lot of great tutorials for this, which you definitely should check out if you want to dive deeper into how to do these kind of things. But I think Forge is one of the most amazing tools in the entire ecosystem because it solves such a complex task of setting up a server like a DigitalOcean instance or a Linux instance or an AWS instance, EC2 instance, because it just provisions you with the configuration you need you know that Homestead-like environment, and gets you up and running, just like that. Just click, build a new server, gets made, gets deployed, and you get up and running in a couple of minutes. And that's really amazing. You don't need to learn anything about how to set it up, how to get up and running. You just click new server, and you're good to go. So it automates the process of setting up a server, which saves you a lot of time. You don't need to learn how to set it up, and you save the effort of how to set up everything. And just saves you a ridiculous amount of time in general. Comes with a ton of benefits as well, like things like setting up load balancers. Again, just one click away, you set up a load balancer. Click, and it's there. You can add servers to it really easily. You can set up tools like New Relic, Papertrail, Blackfire by just entering the credentials, clicking provision, and it will automatically sync to the service you selected. You can easily set up cron jobs through the interface. You can set your code to auto-deploy that whenever you push to your master branch, you can just it gets automatically deployed on your Forge instances. And again, same environment as Homestead, same production environment. You can basically set up a load balancer, a couple of services, SSL certificate, all of these different tools like New Relic, Papertrail, Blackfire, you can set up cron jobs, queue workers in less than 30 minutes. That's amazing. I mean, to have that kind of flexibility, as that you can just say, okay, I need to set up a new project and I need to done it by the end of the day, no problem. 30 minutes and you're good to go. But of course, you need to get your code on there. Forge offers an option to automatically deploy your code and offers you the ability to set your different build steps. But it doesn't really provide a way to do it seamlessly with zero downtime. That's why an amazing tool comes in, Envoyer, and it's probably my favorite tool of the entire ecosystem stack, because it solves, again, a really complex problem of how to do continuous deployment and how to do zero downtime deployment. First thing you need to know about Envoy is that it isn't Envoy. It's like Envoyer, it's kind of like a SaaS Envoyer, but offers a lot of more possibilities like zero downtime deployments and stuff like that. So zero downtime deployments and seamless rollbacks as well. If you deploy something and you want to go back, you can it's one button click away. You just roll back to your previous version. You can monitor your cron jobs with Heartbeat. Like if you have cron jobs, you just send ping or curl an URL at the end of your cron job just to notify Envoy, and will know that your cron jobs are still running, which is an amazing, cool feature. It can monitor your deployment health status. That when you deploy, it will monitor from 3 different regions to know that your server is still online. Envoy is optimized for Laravel. You can say it's for a Laravel 4 project or a Laravel 5 project, and it will know how to preserve logs, and you can set environment variables with it through an easy-to-use interface. But what's really cool is that you can basically use it for any project. You can use it for a Zen project or Symfony project or whatever PHP project you have. It's not tied to Laravel. It's a totally standalone component. Next up is some of the missing links, I think, which aren't in the ecosystem. And these are all just really personal opinions. But one thing which I'm missing from the ecosystem from Laravel is something like continuous delivery, for example. Because you can set up, enable Envoyer to automatically deploy your code. But when you don't put something in between, which automatically runs your tests and makes sure that your application works before you deploy, you can get in a lot of trouble when you automatically deploy. And it's kind of like, the bridge between something like GitHub or Envoyer, the things in between. And the thing is also that you can use some amazing continuous integration tools, like, for example, Travis or Circle CI or CodeShip. They're all amazing tools. But when you set up an environment and you set up a deployment pipeline there, it's not really the same thing. It's not really the same environment as your Homestead or Forge environment. So you basically, what I try to solve is that how can I actually enable some way to use that same environment? And the solution was pretty simple, actually. The way I solved it was I actually just provisioned the Forge instance. I added a tests.sh script, which you can see here, to my repository, and I just made that Forge instance run my tests to see if they succeeded. And when the test succeeded, they just triggered the Envoyer ping URL, which you can trigger to like deploy your code automatically. This is an incredibly simple solution to like get a cheap solution as well for continuous delivery, because you basically need to like just provision one DigitalOcean instance of $5, and you have a continuous delivery pipeline for $5 a month, which is really great. So just create a new Forge instance, add a code below, and that's the deploy script for Forge, and enable quick deploy in Forge, disable the auto deploy in Envoyer, and you're good to go. Next up, this is also a personal opinion. The thing at BeatSwitch, and the thing at BeatSwitch is we do quality assurance at BeatSwitch. Like when we test every single feature, we still want to do like a manual check before we want to do a manual check before we merge something in and deploy it to production. Because mostly you still need to rely on tests and how they run well, but you still want to do like that manual check if everything is working fine. And I'm just going to skip this part a little bit. I'm really sorry because I'm running a little bit out of time. But what the ecosystem actually really does, it saves you a lot of money. You get Laravel and Homestead for free. You get Forge for $10 a month. You get Envoyer for $10 a month. You get DigitalOcean. You add a DigitalOcean Linux instance for $10 a month, and for basically $30 a month, you get a full stack of download to deploy. You can use them separately, all of the different components. You can Laravel to build something amazing. You can use Elixir to optimize your front-end workflow. You can use Homestead to develop your PHP apps. You can use Forge to set up your servers. You can use Envoyer to deploy your apps. But they really actually amaze when you start to using them together in a single ecosystem. That's when you actually start to see how easy it is and how fun it is, again, to program, when they come together and work together. And that's really incredible. I'm now coming up to the most important part of the talk. I think a lot of people still forget that an ecosystem isn't just components and tools we use, but it's also important for an amazing community to still work together. And we know that most of the prominent community members like Taylor, Jeffrey, Eric, Graham, who does the GitHub issues for Laravel, Matt Stauffer, who does the Laravel podcast and has an amazing blog as well, Dale Reese, who has a couple of great books. But what about the others, the other developers? And I don't mean like the actual others. I mean like these people, you guys. What the community brings to Laravel is incredible. All of these extra components, extra extensions, all these contributions, all these GitHub pull requests, and that's amazing. The thing also is that speaking at conference gives you opportunities, and I kind of want to like take up the liberty to talk about a few of those amazing community members, because they rarely get recognition for their work in general. And I just want to give them some recognition here at Laracon. First person up is Maxime Fabre. He's a developer of Rocketeer. He's a developer at Made with Love. He's made a ton of contributions to Laravel over the past few years. And I really think he made an incredible, great impact on Laravel, taught a lot of developers a great amount of stuff. Also, Mior is an incredible person. He's very, very kind, very friendly. And what Mior really does incredibly well is he provides incredible, great feedback on issues and pull requests. He actually takes the time to explain something really well so you can understand and learn from it. That's incredibly valuable. Also, Fort Rabbit, I really would like to thank them for everything they've done for the Laravel community. They've actually really focused as well with their hosting on Laravel, not just Laravel PHP in general, but they really contributed a lot for Laravel over the past few years. So really would like to thank them for them. Dan from Cardlist, which is really someone important to me. He's probably done a lot more for the Laravel community than anyone else. He actually invests a lot of money in it, in user groups and other things. If you want to use really great components, separate framework-agnostic components, definitely check out Cardlist. Buddy is also someone who really contributed a lot with a lot of packages. I mean, who in here has used Laravel debug bar in one of his projects? That's a lot of hands. Joe Ferguson, who's a regular conference speaker, speaks a lot about Laravel, blogs a lot about Laravel. He's an incredible kind person, incredible great person too. Yeah, he's an incredible great person who gives a lot of constructive feedback on a lot of different issues. I really would like to thank him for all of his work for Laravel. Abigail, who you might know as Taylor's wife, mom to two incredible kids. And she claims to be Laravel's biggest supporter. And when you see her go at it at Twitter, supporting Taylor and Laravel, you really have a hard time disagreeing with her. And the thing Abigail represents is a group. For me, she represents a group of people we often forget. She represents a group of people. She represents the people which support us. You know, like. Our friends, our bosses, our co-workers, our spouses, our kids who support us in our hopes and dreams of building amazing things. And it's important that we recognize them as well for what they offer to us. And what's even more important is that we give back to them what they've given us, that we help them achieve their goals and dreams as well. And last, but definitely not least, is Jeroen. You might know, I'm sure that most of you know that Sean is one of the main figureheads behind Laracon, and he runs most of the things. But Jeroen is actually an incredible, important part about Laracon. Without him, you wouldn't be at this amazing venue. You wouldn't have the dinner you were about to go have. He runs so much things about Laracon, and I really think he deserves recognition for the work he does here at Laracon, because he's an incredible, important part about it. So you might wonder why I'm speaking about these people so much, why I'm spending such a great time of my talk about them. Because it matters. It matters that we recognize these people and that we value them for their contributions, that we don't always say that the prominent community members are most important. These people are important as well. They invest time and money into something they rarely get feedback for. That's incredible. We should always try to remember the efforts they've done. And not just them, the persons who I just listed, but every single Laravel contributor who has contributed anything to Laravel over the past 3 years. So how can what? Okay. And how can the community help you? Well, you basically start talking to each other. When you get at dinner in a bit, start talking to each other. Start working out amazing things, or on any of these channels. Send in a contribution. Send in a pull request. Get it rejected by Graham because you have code style issues. Then send it in again. Create an open source project. Start something new, learn from it, from others, from the feedback they can give to you. Dive into the core. It's still the best way, in my opinion, to learn something from Laravel. And I really need to channel my inner coach rabbi right now, but start a user group. Start going to user groups. Start learning from user groups. Start one of your own. Start talking at conferences. I know a lot of people don't want to talk because you are afraid you're going to talk, aren't going to talk well, but if the fact that you have something to say, the fact that you can't speak is irrelevant to the fact that you have something to say to the rest of us. Anyone can be on the stage. And the thing is, open source isn't about opening yourself to others, isn't about opening your code to others, it's about opening yourself to others, sharing yourself, sharing your input with others and your guidance. Learn from each other, talk to each other, and build amazing things together. And don't forget, I know a lot of Laravel people here think that Laravel is the only thing out there, but don't forget the rest of the PHP community. There are a lot of other amazing tools out there which aren't Laravel only. I really wanted to get Lee into this talk because I think he's one of the kindest persons I've never met. And I really admire the way he talks on Twitter and guides other people on his life wisdom. And I really wanted to get him in this talk. He basically says, whatever you do, regardless of how much someone is willing to pay to you, just do the things you love to do. That's really important. Next up is the last slide of this talk. And I think, in my opinion, the best ecosystem is still a respectful, helpful, and diverse community. And that's what's really important. Not the tools, but the people involved, the people who guide you and help you. That's it.